What up, y'all? We're back. Hello, David.
Is it video game time?
Have you seen this?
What is it?
Operation Epic Furiousness.
Who makes it? Is it Blizzard? Is it a Blizzard game? It's not a video game?
It's a video game.
Is it made by Blizzard?
No.
Who makes it?
Independent.
Not a company?
I don't think it's like a AAA company.
Did you pay for it?
Free.
Oh. Okay.
Power Magic Truth.
What kind of... Do you have a TV that you play on? Or is it your computer monitor?
My computer monitor.
Oh.
I'm gonna do this.
That sounds like annoying Nintendo music.
Yeah, it's very retro.
Very retro. Like from 50 years ago.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
Okay. What is it? Like a Trump game?
Yep.
Or it's a Trump game?
Yep.
Do they what is it like the war or something, or what is it?
It's Operation Epic Fury, but
Epic
better.
Fury?
Yeah.
But better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool. Well, I hope you spend hours playing it
Thank you.
and make lots of money
Thank you.
playing a video game.
Thank you so much. The secret handshake is who made it.
Secret handshake?
Yeah.
All right.
There we go. That's better.
It's really loud.
Yeah.
Do you have any tacos today?
Not yet. Not yet.
Is that that's your main food though, right? Tacos? You live off tacos?
Uh-oh, another one of your executive orders was halted by the courts.
Oh
Order
my
Diet
God.
Coke or invade Iran. Oh, there we go. Let's just invade Iran, dude. Fuck it.
Fuck it. That's hilarious.
Whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again.
That's pretty funny too. That's amazing. I'm wondering, what do you think? Like when the Democrats, when they get power again, right? And do the midterms and they take Congress, what are they going to do? Do you know?
We have a lot of work to do.
Well, are they
go
going
back
to give
doing
us a
progressive policy and balancing the budget, feeding people?
Well, they're balancing the budget.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you'd have to cut people's benefits to do that.
Or tax the rich, right?
Well, you'd have to tax more than the rich. Yeah. Yeah.
Kamala's plan brought a deficit down to like 200 billion. Trump's exploded to like
$200 billion, the deficit down 200 billion. So in 1 year, we would be spending $200 billion more than we bring in. That sound like a good plan?
And 10 years will drive it down from 600 billion to 200.
Oh, it takes 10 years to get it down that low. So the deficit So it'll take 10 years to get it to 200 billion, overspend by 200 billion instead of 600 billion.
Yeah. Undo some.
Does that sound balanced to you?
It's an effort to balance it. Yeah. So Trump, it does
An
opposite.
effort. So in a decade, what's the difference at that point? In a decade, they're still going to overspend by 200 billion under her plan.
That's the plan.
And that's a good plan?
Better than exploding it.
It's already exploded, bro. It's too late. Just keep spending at this point. There's no difference.
There is
Why
a
go
difference.
through? Just wait till it pops. You're just going to make it pop slower. That's not a good plan.
I'm sorry that Trump is so much of a mess, and that it's really hard.
Dude, it's not my problem. I'm an old man. It's your problem.
Mm-hmm.
You're screwed.
Yeah, thanks, David.
You're welcome. My generation and older, we're very selfish people.
W. George is in the chat for the kick. Chat, we are doing debates. If you want to debate, hop in the box. Until then, we're going to check out Operation Epic Furiousness. Let's do this. There we go. W. Georges. All right. Guys, I'm eating gin-gins and playing. If you want to debate, hop in the box. Come tell me why you like Trump. Let's see how this is going. I'm going to try my best not to be distracted by this. How is the volume compared to everything else, y'all? Mr. President, thanks for delivering the safest country on God's green earth. Do you like my cool new jacket? It stands for Female Body Inspector. It's for free. It's browser-based. Just documents lying on the ground. I love it. I was never on Epstein's jet. Did you burn the files yet? I'm just gonna say, can we hold hands? Game over, no! Gee dang it. Another one of your executive orders was halted by the courts. Let's invade Iran. Hey boss, I just saw on Truth Social you declared war on Iran. Hell yeah. Some call it a war. I call it renovating the Middle East ballroom. My delts are combat ready. Let's liberate some oil. Go outside and borrow Kid Rock's helicopter to get to the war zone. We already did this. I'm working on it. What are you waiting for? I put them in your office next to the fireplace. Let's go back. Are they over there? We must burn. Would you like to burn the Epstein files? Yes. There are 3,124,000, whatever, 31 million Epstein files remaining. Would you like to burn an Epstein file? Yes. All right, not right now. Chad, if you're a Trump supporter, you want to debate? Hop in the box. Who's this guy? Is it? He has no shirt on. It's Bobby Kennedy. I am worm operating this empty Kennedy vessel. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Kind of, yeah. Not fully, but kind of. I would have voted for him. And
Okay, what for?
I mean, there's a few reasons why I think I couldn't vote for Democrats. Number one is the entire situation regarding DEI and affirmative action, because I believe that's something which goes against individualism and goes against what I believe in general. I mean, if you look at, for example, New York City has now eliminated gifted tracks in primary schools, which is something I genuinely find absolutely stupid, because if you have a smart kid, he should get a special track, and DEI programs are working against specialization, against tracking, and for basically a streamlining of education for everyone to be equal, and then for certain people to be more equal because of their race or their skin color. And that's not something that I want to have.
So, DEI isn't necessarily like a Democrat policy. It is necessarily, it's the thing you talked about earlier, affirmative action. That's already gone. That's illegal. Supreme Court threw that out. And what's left is basically private companies doing things that actually have been shown to increase profits and productivity for businesses. So we have studies from Harvard, we have studies from Forbes that show that these practices make sure that our implicit bias doesn't take place. So it's not necessarily like lifting people up and giving them equity, which would be nice. It's more or less like making yourself blind to the fact that someone might be white and someone like yourself might be prone to hiring them just because of their race. We want to remove that.
No, I get that point fully. But for example, if you see what some statistics, for example, I think it was journalism, where I believe there's now white men have dropped to, I believe it was, I don't know the exact number right now. I'm honest about that. I don't know the exact number right now. I don't want to invent a number, but I know it has dropped massively below the real percentage. Same with, for example, tenure tracks at elite universities. And I think the issue with that is that at the end, what these systems are is it reduces a human to his race or to his intrinsic characteristics. And that's something which I think is against what America should stand for. It should stand for basically individualism. It should stand for individual people being seen as individuals by their merits. That's what the country was built on. So
sure. It's just not happening though. So think about the average person, the average age of somebody who's in Congress or somebody who's a CEO. Think about 60, 65 years old. That is not even as old as the Voting Rights Act. So these people were very well alive and born and deeply ingrained with racist ideas. And that comes out in reflection with the people they hire, the loans they administer, things like that. And we can see like, if you're going to cry about journalists and maybe white people becoming less than 60% of journalists, I would point to you things like pilots. Pilots are 3.9% black, and that definitely isn't a reflection of our society. That says that there's something systemically going on there. Something is going on where, given the opportunity, two people with equal merit, one being white, would be chosen first. In fact, we have studies showing that if you have an ethnic sounding name or if you have a black sounding name, you have a 20% less likelihood of being called back for like your resume. So we need to do things to blind ourselves to these biases. And that's all DEI does. It doesn't necessarily like make it less likely for a white person to be hired. It just makes it less likely for somebody to use their racial bias to hire somebody.
I mean, that's different from what I have read, because from what I have read, there's at least certain companies or certain institutions which do have, not explicitly anymore, because obviously the Supreme Court has obviously banned that now, but it has implicitly still kind of criteria. So i.e., we want to emphasize hiring people of color or people who have been systematically oppressed.
No.
That's still, I mean,
That's
there has been.
that's the boogeyman that they've given you under the guise. Like I truly believe that this is like the Confederacy's last breath of trying to reinvigorate racism and nativism into the public. And it's basically just rich people making huge money grabs. Do you really think, like, for instance, Trump's administration was hired based off of merit?
No, to be honest, no. It was hired based off ideology, probably a lot. I mean,
Lots of
some people.
loyalty?
I think Rubio is the only guy who actually does things well. The others are kind of
Yeah,
not that great.
maybe.
I'll agree with you on that. I'm not a Trump supporter anyway. I'm a Republican, not a Trump supporter. Two different things. So
Yeah. So, again, I would just point to the fact that if you want to look at this through my lens, I look at every sense of you guys bringing up DEI, bringing up like white fragility and reverse racism. It is literally a huge nothing burger. They fooled you. They tricked you. Nobody is out here trying to champion these things to hurt the white man. I think that if you just look at this through the lens of the economy, Republicans have done nothing but just fuck up the economy every time they've got a hold of it. And it's so sad. It's so sad they convince people to still vote for it with surface level, like bullshit social wedge issues like trans people, black people, all this stuff. It is so sad. This is my favorite graph right now. This just shows every time that Republicans get into office, they just fuck things up. They fuck up the deficit. And they just can't help themselves. They just can't help themselves but enrich themselves and to help their rich friends who got them elected and did think tanks to come up with these social wedge issues. Every time a Republican's been in office, they just completely explode the deficit. And nobody gets extra stuff out of it, right? Like, so if we were to be the big spenders and this was us fucking up the deficit, you'd just see more people like eating and being housed. But this is just a big graph of rich people getting rich. That's it. And if you're not rich and you're voting for it, you're voting for it for this bullshit DEI thing. It's sad.
I mean, the issue is that the reason deficits go down on the Democrats is that they generally increase taxes, which I think is also an issue because
either.
at the end, it's not true.
No.
How it's not true that? I'm sorry. How is
so? Trump, for instance, his last tax breaks, he conned people with 95% of Americans paid more taxes last year. So he like gave you 50 cents. Yeah, he like gave you 50 cents and took $5.
Do you have a study? Can you show me the study? Because I'm actually interested because I did not realize. I thought, like, for example,
this is from ITEP. 95% of Americans paid higher taxes. This is like my favorite resource for taxation policy. And this is what he did the first time too. And we screamed this from the rooftops when he did his 2017 tax breaks, where like 91% of the taxes went to the top 1%, and Republicans are like, "No, you're lying." And there's just not any data or analysis that show otherwise. And I think it's just an ideological thing. They've got you all locked in. They've got you just.
I mean, I'd have to read that study. So I've not read that study, so I'd have to read that after the discussion. So thank you for telling me about that. I did not know about that.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did it the first time too. 2017, 91% went to the top.
I mean,
1%.
to be honest, 2017 I was like 8, so I wasn't really interested in politics yet, or like 10 or whatever.
Well, that's what this looks like. So when he gives a bunch of people free money, it explodes our deficit. It's like saying to your boss, "Hey, I hate it when you pay me so much money. Take that back." That's what he did.
I mean, the point is, I think what at least good Republican. I mean, I think I'm more of a Republican of certain people in Congress than actually a Trumpish Republican. So I think there's still a certain wing of the Republican Party which says we want less spending, which says we want a smaller government.
Since 1950, when did they do that? Since 1950, show me. Which point of the graph did they make that go down?
again, I'm talking about a certain wing of the party in the House. I'm not talking about necessarily any of these presidents.
None of these people, even
I mean,
presidents,
Calvin Coolidge of anything. Calvin Coolidge of anything.
right, it's all
But
talk. It's all lies. They just say it, but they don't do it. When Trump tells them to vote a certain way and make him a tax bill, they do it. They fold. And if they don't, Republicans will have him ousted. They're gone. Anybody who spoke up against Trump have been kicked.
I mean, the point I think is, in at least from what how I see it in that case, is that at the end, the reason why the deficit is increasing under these presidents, I would say, in many cases, at least if you talk about Reagan, for example, Reagan did cut taxes quite a bit, which I think helped the economy in the long term. And
There's no evidence
no,
that it helped the economy. It's probably one of the most detrimental things to happen to our economy. There's no economist that praises him for what he did. I think that's a super partisan outlook on it.
I mean, there is economists, for example, like Thomas Sowell. What about them? Or even
Have you
Hayek.
seen
I
what
mean,
happened
my
to the
power
wage
so,
to the wealth gap after Reagan? You seen that?
I mean, the question is, the wealth gap again is a bit of a
Reagan's like the final
interpretation in
boss.
many ways, I think, because if you look at what the wealth gap does at the end, I mean, if the poor also get richer and the rich get even richer, that's not a bad thing. So if you see what happened to the world economy since 1950, the wealth gap theoretically got bigger, but also millions of people were lifted out of poverty since the 80s. So
No, what the wealth gap shows is that rich people got richer and poor people stayed poor, and their productivity and enabling rich people to have more liquid and like less tax burden was supposed to trickle down and make jobs. But like, let's take for instance the last 20 years, we have doubled the amount of billionaires in this country, but no one else is richer. Nobody, like, the
no, I'm
average wage
sorry,
hasn't
but
doubled
since the 1970s, over 500 million people were lifted out of absolute poverty in the world.
in the world.
Yes, mainly through more market-based, more capitalist systems.
I think maybe through efficiency and through technology, but like getting
Correct,
water,
which will form.
getting water to
Correct.
someplace in Africa or something is just a little bit easier than it was 60 years ago. That has nothing to do with billionaires getting billions of dollars.
No, it does, because it's connected. Because billionaires getting billions of dollars leads to more innovation, which leads to better quality of life for other people as well.
There's nothing you could really like. This is still just being a cuck for this. So
How is it? How
So
is it saying that?
this right here, undeniable evidence, and this right here.
Now, I'm sorry, but how is saying that capitalism decreased poverty being a cuck for this? I'm confused.
Because some of the best times in American history for the economy have been, let's say, after like World War II, when we gave everybody free college, and then those people, the everyday person, went out and they like started their own business and made their own wealth. But now we're just like snowballing the money at the top, and nobody gets a share of it. And that's what this shows. Since 1980, these two lines became divorced because of Reagan. So back when you and your boss made similar money, now that is a pipe dream. It's even worse now. This just stops at 2010. It is so much worse now. And that is not an ideal. That is late stage capitalism. That is when everybody,
Again,
like, they're going to have so much money, they're going to just be able to tell us what things cost.
that's a question. Would you prefer you to make 100,000, or your boss to make 200,000, or you to make 50,000 and the boss to make 60,000? I think that's the system we're talking about right now.
No, I would much rather me and my boss make $10,000 apart, because that way they're not doing things like buying up all of the businesses that are competitors and like creating monopolies, and then having monopoly on making food go up and gas go up and all these other things. That's not ideal. That is how capitalism like eventually just turns into like nothing. It just explodes.
But again, my question is, do you deny that capitalism has led to more innovation in this country and in the world?
Nobody's against capitalism. I'm just against unfettered capitalism.
How did you define unfettered capitalism then?
This. So basically just letting wealth snowball, and like the majority of people having less than like the top two people in the economy.
But again, what you call unfettered capitalism has gotten out over 500 million people out of poverty in the last 50 years.
You can't say it's been unfettered, right? Like most of Europe has all sorts of checks and balances and social programs a lot better than us. And they have far more social mobility, economic mobility. They rank higher on all of these scales because of these things. And it's silly to think otherwise.
I mean, if you look at some of the well-run European countries, they're actually in many ways more capitalist than America is. So if you look at, for example, Sweden, if you can look at the heritage free market, how's it called, economic freedom index, Sweden is actually in front of America. Denmark is in front of America because they actually allow you to create much more than America. America has too much of a regulatory state, and I think we'll agree. I think we'll agree that the American state is in many ways propped up by lobbyists. We'll agree on that, I think, and that we should stop that. Propped up by lobbyists, and that we should stop that. I think we agree on that, yeah.
Of course, yeah. So like I feel like what you're espousing, these like anti-DEI and like how rich people create opportunity, it's just rich people spreading propaganda and you're like carrying it for them.
I don't really think that's true. I think that actually capitalism has been the best economic form of our lifetime.
I'm a capitalist, dude. I'm a capitalist. I am for capitalism. But like when you talk about Sweden, when you talk about Denmark, Sweden has like the most subsidized healthcare system in the world, and it also just happens to be the best, hands down, the best.
I mean, sorry, but the UK, for example, is way more subsidized than Sweden. Sweden is a two-tier system.
Sweden subsidizes and invests tons into innovation.
We agree, but Sweden is not the most subsidized healthcare system. Sweden has a two-tier healthcare system.
They are. They pour tons of money from the top into like research, the things Trump has pulled back so he can give his rich friends more tax breaks, so they can circle jerk with their money.
I'm sorry, but you just said Sweden was the most subsidized.
It's very subsidized.
I mean, you can look at the UK, for example. That's more subsidized, for example. But the thing is, for example, if you look at Sweden, also they have privatized railways. They have school choice, so you can't just pick the things you like without the things you dislike.
They also have plenty of other programs. They have universal healthcare. I think universal healthcare or single payer healthcare is like the single biggest missing piece in America. When we see like the most vulnerable amongst us being taken care of, rather than like falling into poverty and being in large amounts of debt, and being able to seek like mental health and all this stuff, like if they have cancer, they're not just gonna die and kill or die and leave a bunch of kids to roam free for themselves and fend for themselves. That doesn't happen in Sweden and in the UK. That absolutely happens here, and they've convinced half the population, the rich people have, that this is all a bad idea. That single payer healthcare is so bad, and there's just these long wait times and stuff. The wait times here are infinite, and when you compare us to Sweden, we are absolutely far less subsidized than Sweden.
I mean, I grew up in Germany, so I have experience with a public healthcare system, and I can say that it doesn't work as many people in America imagine it to work. So I had a bad knee injury recently, and not recently, like 4 or 5 years ago when I was 14, and it took me 6 days to get emergency surgery in Germany, and
you'd be waiting like 12 years here.
For emergency surgery.
Yes, you're not owed emergency surgery by anybody. You have to pay for it.
But if you pay for it, you at least get it. That's a good part. In Germany, you can't get.
If you just so happen to have $20,000, $30,000, $200,000 lying around, you can absolutely go pay for it. But that's nobody. That's nobody here. Nobody has that.
I mean, there's insurance. I mean, for example, my grandpa got a knee replacement within like 3 days because he has health insurance. So.
Yeah, but there's like 40 million people without health insurance here. So average that out.
I mean, so could you repeat that? I didn't get the point.
There's like 40 million people without health insurance here with no option. 60% of bankruptcies here in the United States are from healthcare. 60%.
That's an issue, and I'll agree with you that there's issues in the healthcare system. I think it's also partially because the FDA is doing a lot of things regarding drug pricing, so you can't get a drug license in America as much as you can in Europe, for example, or in like Switzerland, for example.
You can just buy it though.
So
We can buy it from Europe.
drug licenses you can't
No,
in
you can
many
just
ways
buy the
because
drugs from Europe.
correct,
Hi.
but you
If
hello.
I could just
What?
add some information in here, like someone who deals with chronic health issues, like I'm disabled. Um, Even with insurance, many treatments are still unavailable due to how high they are in price. I am an insured individual through the ACA. In order to get an MRI on my right shoulder and my neck, it was $700 out of pocket.
Yeah, people, and like, if someone in Germany heard that, they'd be like, "Oh, what?" It would be like a nightmare for them. Do you think America, like Germans, are ready for a $600 surprise fee?
A coupon changed. By the way, we have coupons for medications here in America. A coupon changed on a life-saving medication for myself that allows me to function, and I was able to get it for nothing. And then they changed it, and now it's over $1,000.
An ambulance is like $1,200. People's deductibles are $6,000 to $12,000. So even with health insurance, you're just kind of fucked.
Yeah, my friend actually is a type 1 diabetic, Pickles, and he's been having to crowdfund because his medication is just too expensive. And of course, we all know that like insulin is extremely dire.
That is correct. And why is insulin extremely dire? Because three companies have monopolized the market. Because the FDA makes it extremely hard for other companies to actually bring in biosimilars.
Wait, but do you know that insulin was made to be free? Do
I
you know
agree.
the
Yeah,
history of it?
yes, I do know the history of it. And the point is that the FDA makes it to be over $200 billion to actually license a biosimilar in the economy. So, for example, there is companies which make cheap insulin and would want to sell it in America because they cannot sell it in America because the FDA wants very long and very expensive regular fees to license the actual medicine. That's an issue.
Well,
And
we have states like California and Colorado that like have state-owned insulin companies. That's a liberal thing. If for as long as you vote Republican, you're just dead
but
weight
it's not
behind
state
us.
it's not state owned, I'm sorry, but
State
it's
sponsored.
but there's a lot of genetic companies, let's say Sandoz, let's say Teva, that would like to sell in America, but they can't because licensing issues.
Okay, I don't really care. Like my number one enemy isn't licensing; it's Republicans stopping us from getting single payer health care. Period. End of story. Like if we had a single payer system, we can do more things like Biden did when he negotiated with these drug companies that try to gouge us because they're alone in the market. He can say, "Listen, you can either have 250 million customers or none, and we'll go to the next person." And one company is going to bite, and they're going to give us insulin at $35. That's what
But the
collective
question is,
bargaining does.
the question is, if you allowed more companies to actually sell insulin in this market, it would drop to probably even under $35 if you didn't make it $200 billion to actually license insulin.
Yeah.
If you had 10, 20, 30 companies to actually be able to sell insulin in the country.
Or we would just have one of those companies do very well and buy all the rest.
So why hasn't that happened in the world market? Why is Sandoz still a thing? Why is Teva still a thing? Why is Dr. Max still a thing?
Because
Why
they're
these
not
all
under the same
independent companies?
country.
All right, so why couldn't they just import the things into America?
That's what they're doing.
No, they are not, because the FDA doesn't let them license it.
Again, that's not the number one enemy here. The number one enemy is Republicans stopping us and convincing the public that single-payer healthcare is bad. All of these issues would be instantly resolved. We wouldn't have to do all of this shit. We would fast-track licensing and let foreign countries come in and fuck with our medicine.
I'm sorry, but look at like what the NHS is doing. So that's also not much better. In the UK, that is single payer healthcare, and it's by most accounts not working as it should be. So
I think it works fantastic.
Well, also, I think the thing that I find interesting is that a lot of people like to cite, oh, well, these other medical programs or other ways that countries do their medicine is not good. But I would add, I've asked many people in these other countries, like I've asked Canadians, I've asked people who live in the UK, would you switch to the American healthcare system, very rarely have I met one that says yes, that they would still take their system, while it might not be perfect, over what we deal with here.
Yeah, I think that Republicans first and foremost, they are for making companies, giving companies, especially Trump, but like Republicans have not done anything to stifle like free market capitalism doing its horrible things. Trump just gutted like the Consumer Protection Bureau that would stop us from getting ripped off from these companies. For every dollar we spent, we saved like $4. Like the Republican Party is absolutely disgusting at this point. They are worthless. They're holding us back. They're dead weight. They do nothing.
I'm sorry,
but
but
bankrupt
question:
us.
Why would you say free market capitalism leads to monopolies?
Wait, it actually like is. Do you know what's happening with Amazon and bookstores?
About Amazon bookstores, that like I mean,
No. This is a perfect example of how monopolies work in America. So, for example, Amazon sells books at a net loss. They don't make any money off of the books they sell. They sell them at such low prices. They don't make any money off of it. But what they have done is they've actually gotten rid of all of the other bookstores except for a select few, because the other bookstores cannot compete with the pricing from Amazon. And they've narrowed it down so much to the fact that we almost lost Barnes and Noble. But like there's no more mom and pop bookstores. There's no more like little bookstores that are like in towns. They're all gone because Amazon like ruined them.
And same thing with like Walmart. So like when Walmart came in and there's a tire shop here and a pharmacy here and a grocery store here and a food store here, they will literally operate at a loss for like 4 years until these companies are gone, and then they start raking in the cash. And by the way, we subsidize these people for $8 billion a year just because they can underpay the fuck out of their employees to do that.
I mean, and that's why, for example, if Lidl's coming in certain areas now and replacing Walmart's customer base because they're offering a better service. So again, it's if someone offers a better service than someone else, they will of course get their market share. And if someone else comes and does it even better, they will get their market share back. That's how the economy works and how it should work.
Nobody has the budget to go operate at a loss for 4 years. That's not better.
I mean, but for example, like Lidl has been replacing Walmart in many areas now because it's been working better. It's been selling cheaper products, and it's actually. I mean, for example, my grandparents and my parents now shop at Lidl's instead of at the Kroger's they used to shop at. So
Lidl.
That's
I've never heard
again
of Lidl.
a system of capitalism working.
Again, that's just unfettered capitalism putting most like small companies out of business, and it's just another giant titan coming in and fighting Walmart.
I mean, so you don't want them to come in and provide better services.
They're not necessarily providing a better service.
I mean, if it's cheaper and if it's high quality, then people buy it.
It's only temporarily cheaper.
I mean, and if they get more expensive, then someone else can come in and make it and bring back cheaper prices, like you see in many different areas where someone went too expensive, where someone went overboard, and someone else came in, provided a better service for a cheaper price, and ended up taking over big parts of the market share.
How do you feel about undocumented workers coming in and doing that?
That's actually a bit of a good question, honestly. I mean, it's very different because again, you are talking about workers and you're talking about companies. That's two very different things, no?
Technically, companies are people in our country.
I would also argue that in America we deal with more of a crony capitalistic society than we do
I
with
agree.
like
I agree.
market.
I agree with that, actually. Yeah.
Because I mean, if you look at the EV, like EVs is a perfect example. The 100% tariff on EVs coming from China. Why? Because they are better. And I
100% agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm a libertarian, so I agree with that.
I also think libertarian is an incoherent philosophy. I think that you guys take all of your favorite parts and leave like the bad stuff. Like libertarian usually calls for like free trade, open borders. But we see that.
I mean, I'm not a fan of open borders. So.
Most cities, for instance, they save money whenever we take tax dollars and spend some of it on the lower class. We literally save money. So like libertarians are negative IQ in that sense. They will never do it. It's like going into I don't know, a manufacturing company that manufactures tires and deleting one of the machines that automates one of the processes because it saves money, but in the long run, it costs so much more money. I feel like that's how brainless the libertarian idea is.
So I'm confused about the metaphor. Like, what are you trying to say with that? Sorry.
So for every $100,000 we spend on feeding homelessness and housing them, we save hundreds of thousands of dollars, twice as much, 3 times as much, by not putting them in our hospitals and so that they don't commit crimes to stay warm during the winter.
I mean, California spent over 70,000, or it was New York, I think, spent more on a homeless person a year than a average New Yorker earns.
And it saved
So
money.
that's not a solution. It saves money to spend more than
Yes.
a single New Yorker pays. And I'm sorry, how does that make sense? If you
For the same
pay,
it's actually where the study was based out of. Yeah. So when you make sure that people have food to eat, they don't commit crimes to get food.
but again, why do you need to spend more than the average New Yorker makes in a year to do that? There's going to be a lot of bloat, a lot of waste.
I mean, you'd have to prove where the bloat and the waste is. I like to think that there's bipartisan budget offices for these types of things, and I think this is just a boogeyman, something you can't actually put your finger on where the bloating is, because in every sense of the word, it saves us money. It saves us money.
And in what case does it save us money at the end? Because again, if you have a situation where you spend $70,000 per homeless person, how does that save money at the end? Instead, if you,
how much do you think it costs to
possibly
imprison a homeless person for a whole year?
I mean, I believe I don't know the exact numbers how much a prison.
It's like 70 grand.
I mean, fair, but you're talking about a binary between prison and helping them. Is that a binary really? Because
Yes,
at the end,
poverty
I think
creates
you
crime.
should. I think you should encourage them, for example, to get job training, to start getting a job, for
Who
example.
says we're
It's
not
not
doing
as
that?
easy.
Work,
It's also not as
to work
easy as
retail
that.
or to
You
work.
need to hold on. In America, unlike in Europe, we do not have good public transportation. We don't have, so many a times homeless people have issues getting jobs because number one, they need a permanent address. Number two, they need a reliable form of transportation. If they don't have both of those, it doesn't matter how good of an employee they can be. It doesn't matter how much training we give them. They will never be accepted into a job because of the fact they don't have reliable transportation and they don't have a permanent address.
Also, tell me one libertarian that would run on providing homeless people services.
I mean, again, why? That's not what I try to argue, no?
You
I
said,
mean,
why don't we just
first
do
of-
this?
first of
You're
all-
thinking in the progressive bucket now. Like every step that we take to refine the system in which we help homeless people or people at the bottom half of the economy, you're just a liberal. You're automatically
No, I mean,
progressive.
I said you should help them to to get a job, to maybe work
that
in the
free?
sectors which actually need employees. I mean, it would be a small fee to be a better outcome, but how is that necessarily progressive?
It's
If you actually
always
get them
progressive.
off the
If it requires a like communal funding and a program, you're not this only person who thought of this brilliant idea to just not spend so much money to make homelessness not as bad. You're not the only person. That's just like if liberals sit around and think about this all day like they do, they absolutely have tried this and are going to continue to try to make the system better. But all you're doing is judging it, and your libertarian thinking would just erase it.
I mean, again, I think the government spends too much money on too many different things, and that it shouldn't actually handle. At the end of the day,
The biggest
that's
thing we
my
spend
opinion
money
about
on
the
is
government, yeah.
Republicans, conservatives. That's the biggest thing we spend money on.
How?
So every single one of these states on this map are conservatives, libertarians, Republicans, still trying to figure out how to do the economy. They can't balance their budget, so they require California, Nevada, all these blue states to pay their
And
bills.
Florida and Texas. I mean,
Yeah,
what
Texas
it
is
shows
actually
there.
red now. This is a 2-year-old map. Florida is getting there. California just balanced their budget, and all of these other states, mostly Republican, they've run on nothing but cutting taxes and cutting programs.
Which is
They
a
think
good
it's gonna,
thing.
they think it's going to balance the budget. It never does, ever.
I mean, what question is this about balanced budgets? Because I know Tennessee, for example, does have a balanced budget. So
Who?
Tennessee.
They also are the nation's murder capital.
Also, if I'm
I mean, it's
may,
Memphis,
one
which
of the
is
things that's always fascinated me about cutting taxes is when you cut the taxes, how do those things that still need to be paid for get paid for?
you should cut spending as well. Cut taxes, cut spending.
I understand that, but if it's on roads, how do the roads get fixed?
But so I'm confused because if you talk about cutting taxes, the roads are probably the last thing you're going to cut.
You guys have been playing the tax cutting game for decades, and you just keep doubling down on the cuts, and it's always come back and bit you in the ass. You guys still reach up to Daddy Newsom to pay 20% of your education, for instance. You guys still can't balance your budget.
I mean, if you look at what the biggest spend in the budget is at the end, it's Obamacare. No, it's Medicare and Medicaid. So
Yeah, I know, and it would be cut in half instantly if we had universal health care.
I was about to say it would literally go down. Like I'm going to be honest with you, I have not found an economist that has looked at the American healthcare system and has said, yeah, that's working better than a universal healthcare system would.
Yeah.
Like no one thinks
again,
it's a
and
good
I agree with
system.
you on that.
Republicans and
with you on that for
libertarians would
different
never,
reasons.
ever do that. Ever. Not even if there's a fire. They will never do it. 12 million people die every year because of it. They don't give a flying fuck. They want to pay less taxes.
Again, I'm confused what you're arguing for right now because I'm agreeing with you that the healthcare system is being captured by the FDA and the companies involved with that, like the big three insulin sellers. We just disagree on how to solve that issue.
Okay, what's the libertarian stance on healthcare?
The libertarian stance on healthcare is we let people actually create medicine. We let people actually import medicine, and that makes medicine radically cheaper. Because right now the medicine sector is captured by a few select big companies,
Even if it's not medicine, and
selectively
if it's
drive
just
the-
medical care, like somebody who needs like to be intubated or something, like for COVID, free medicine and pharmaceutical licenses doesn't fix that.
Again, the American Medical Association has caps on the amount of doctors which can be licensed, which basically can get residency after med school. That's an issue because if there's less doctors, then you pay more for a doctor because there's less supply in the market.
But the libertarians and Republicans also gut funding and student aid for those same exact professions.
Also got grants in medical research and scientific research as well.
Yeah. You guys are cutting us at the knees every turn.
So, but first of all, did you hear the point that there's a massive lack of supply in the medical sector because of the residency cap, and if that was abolished, that would be a good step to actually making medical care cheaper because there would be more supply in the medical sector at the end.
I think collective bargaining is far more effective.
Also, I don't think supply is going to be inherently the biggest issue. I live in Houston, which, by the way, has the biggest medical complex in the world. And still, like, there are people who will fly here from different countries, different places all the United States to get treatment, specifically looking at cancer. And there are people who live here, like myself, who still cannot afford access to this type of medical treatment. I don't think medical treatment should be locked behind paywalls.
I mean, the question is, it'll be paid by someone anyway.
It should be paid through our taxes.
Yeah, and it's twice as efficient paid for by single payer, right?
Again, because we're currently in a captured market. I agree with you on that. Again, fourth time or something. We're currently a captured market. We just have different ways of solving that captured market. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. I'm also not agreeing with what Trump does on the pharmaceutical sector. I think that's not the way to go forward. But
I think progressive have it right 12 times better, and we have a more like fully encompassed solution. And
that's your opinion, and you're entitled to it. So
I mean, like, it's in the data. Like, every single country that performs better than us medically in medicine, they're single payer systems. 49, the 49 countries ahead of us, they're the opposite of libertarianism.
System? Because, for example, Germany doesn't have a single payer system.
Do they not have universal health care?
They have a two-payer system. They have a two-tiered system. That's not a single-payer system.
So is it just like nonprofits mediating the payouts?
No, you can have public or private healthcare. So there's a two-tier system again. So it's not single payer. So
So there is an option for single payer?
but it's not single payer because it's not what? Sorry.
It's universal multi-payer system based on social solidarity. Statutory healthcare, roughly 90% of
I mean, yeah,
population is covered by competing non-profit public
it's not single payer. So
funds. Okay, you're right.
and there's private companies as well. So yeah.
Yeah. So again, they're doing it far more efficiently than we are, and I just don't think it's because they have all of the stops pulled out. I just think that like the one thing you can say is that I don't even think Democrats would fight you too hard on this, like fast tracking like licenses for pharmaceutical companies come here and sell their shit. Like I don't think that's explicit to or exclusive to the libertarian ideology. I think that you're mixing in a bunch of like stuff that fucks up the economy when you talk about libertarians.
Like what, for example? What?
Like I just said, things like gutting government programs that make society more efficient.
I mean, if you talk about government programs, you can also talk about how government programs are inherently inefficient at the end of the day.
They're
At
far more
least 90%
efficient
of the time.
they're far more efficient than a for-profit model.
How? I mean, what cases, for example? Because there's obviously been proven that government at the end operates less efficiently because they have no profit in mind. Because profit means they have to provide services to get customers. If you don't have that need to actually get customers, there's been situations where there's actually been no.
I don't think that dynamic is removed when you do
I
single
mean,
payer.
i.e., if you look at that's another example. That's a completely different example, like the train stuff in California, the high-speed rail. I mean,
China's kicking everyone's ass with high-speed rail, right?
I mean, China is a completely different economy, and I don't think you want to be like China.
What do you mean? Why not?
Because they're an authoritarian state at the end of the day.
I mean, sure, but like just about every outcome they have, like we can do without the authoritarian stuff, but we can just like go for the efficient stuff they do.
But isn't that inherently tied to their authoritarianism? Like you would not be able to build stuff as fast if you wouldn't have very cheap, very low, very high working, very oppressed laborers. Many of the train tracks, for example, were at the end built with help from the people of Xinjiang, for example, who were again held in concentration camps in many ways.
Until I tell you about American railroads.
Yeah,
who do you think built ours?
We have legal slavery here in the private prison system.
I mean, legal slavery, that's again, I mean, are you forced to work, actually? I mean,
Yes.
which states?
Do you know what prison labor is?
I do know what prison labor is, but I did not realize it was, I thought it was at least paid a bit. I did not realize that, but...
No,
it's like,
it depends on the state.
Like 2 cents per hour. So it's like something so small that it just makes it legal, but it's not meaningful pay.
I mean, the question, if we go into prison labor, because again, you obviously live somewhere for free, so that's...
No, you don't actually. You do understand that the state then requires you to pay for being in prison there, right?
But the prison labor at the end is offset against that. That's what I at least read.
It doesn't offset it. It's not enough. There are so many prisoners that have literally, you can look this up, that owe money after being released from prison.
And also, we have 25% of the world's incarcerated population. We are really good at just locking everyone up. We're not any more free than China.
I mean, it's very different it's two very different systems, and I don't think you can compare them. Because if you commit a crime, you should be locked up at the end. So
I think that we've learned that tough on crime doesn't really do anything besides cost us money.
I mean, look at El Salvador.
Yeah, but not a bit. If you're being locked up, I don't know why you're having to pay for being locked up. Like, that's what's wild to me.
I mean, if you say that a tough on crime policy doesn't work, then look just at what happened to El Salvador. They were the murder capital of the world, and they're now almost safe as Canada.
Now
So
they're under authoritarian rule, right? Like, don't you hate that?
yes, but at the end, I think that's just an example. What is a way how, for example, tough on crime policy does work in many ways. I mean, if you look at the crime rates, how they spiked in 2020, that is because many states, many counties defunded the police because many counties at the
No
end
one
went softer
defunded
on
the
crime.
police. No,
Not
no
fully
one
Defunded the
defunded.
police.
Not
Besides
fully defunded, but at
Republicans.
least underfunded.
No,
They've
they've always been
funding.
underfunded. I don't. Okay, okay, hold on. What do you think defunded means for the police? What do you think that means?
I mean, funds taken away from police budgets and brought into instead social worker funds
You
and so
mean
on.
like mental
to-
health programs that would specifically not send police officers out to mental health situations because they oftentimes unalive the person in a mental health situation? You mean things like that?
Not just like that, for example, but for example, if you had certain, like, i.e., you look at the Fairfax DA right now, you have multiple people which committed like 5-6 crimes and still get let out freely, and at the end up committing better crimes, bigger crimes. Sorry,
Better
and
crimes? I mean, people,
no,
yeah,
bigger crimes. Sorry, bigger crimes. That's what I meant.
bigger crimes. Well, if you're looking at the most crimes, like most crimes, I would say are going to be done due to poverty. If you're talking about theft, if you're talking even about robbery, if you're talking about like property crimes, things like that, like there's a lot of times that people are like, do you expect it after 4 or 5 times, if the sentencing's only 6 months, that they finally just go, oh, you just keep committing theft, so we're just going to lock you up forever?
I think that if you commit multiple crimes multiple times and if you're known to continue and continue and continue and continue, especially with violent crimes or gang crimes, that then you should be locked up
We have
because
that.
you have stolen multiple times. I mean, not everywhere, for example. If you look at, for example, Fairfax County DA, they have gone very loose on crime, and they have had multiple murderers from people who had committed multiple violent crimes and were released, usually on bail. But
I think it's better than, like, red states. What they do is they make it harder for you to cross the threshold to a felony. So that's how they kind of cover up their crime rates. So in Texas, $2,500 to commit a felony and theft. California, it's $900, and we still have competing crime rates, but it's
Wait,
just hidden.
Are you talking about Fairfax County in Virginia?
yes,
It is one of the safest jurisdictions in the United States.
no, I mean, again, yes, but there still have been multiple cases where people with a series of violent crime have been committing murderers and so on.
That happens in society. I don't know if you know this, but murder
That
has
is
been
correct.
happening for quite a long
That
period
is
of time.
correct. That is correct. But if you commit 3, 4, 5 violent crimes, like for example the situation, a murder in Charlotte of the Ukrainian woman, the man who committed the crime had, I believe, 6 or 7 prior.
He had actually
arrests
more
for
than
violent
that. And
crimes.
do you know why?
Correct.
Do you know, yeah, but why? Why did he have those?
Tell me then.
He was mentally,
He's mentally ill.
yeah. Like, that person needs actual reform, like rehabilitation. He needs actual help. Instead, we're just like whipping that guy, to death with legal problems.
Yeah, he's just been in and out of prison with zero rehabilitation, zero help, nothing.
And would rehabilitation at the end have helped the guy or
Yes.
not?
Because he would have been noticed that he obviously is not mentally well. And he would have been put into programs that would be helping him with that versus just going through a system that doesn't give a shit about your mental health. Like,
I mean, again, if you commit like 9, I don't know how many it were exactly, but if you commit a series of violent crimes, isn't that just an indicator for you being at the end not fit to be a part of society?
not necessarily. It depends on the circumstances.
Like, again, like we're gonna spend twice as much money imprisoning this guy for the rest of his life than what we could have spent getting him on medication or getting him some sort of rehabilitation.
I mean, again, if it's the same people who say that, who have decriminalized drugs now, at the same time as saying that mental health should be prioritized and you should be that should be supporting these people. At the same time, potent Democrats have basically decriminalized possessing small drugs, and at the same time, furthermore, you still have that issue that even if you have mental health treatment, how does it guarantee you don't commit another crime? How does it commit just a hardened career criminal?
It's
At the end
far
of the day?
better at reducing recidivism than just locking them up and institutionalizing them and learning how to survive in a prison where gang violence is normal, where stealing and where beating someone up and acting like with your primal instincts. That's what you come out doing after you've been institutionalized for years.
I mean, that's a good point, actually. I agree with that. That in prison, at least, there should be some level of social. I don't want to say social training. I want to say rehabilitation in some way. I agree with you on that. I just think that the solution is not to defund the police and put that money into more into mental services coming to actual dangerous situations, which is happening in some cases.
Have you ever heard of the
That's
idea
an
that
issue.
poverty yields crime?
I've heard of the idea. Yeah, I think the idea has some sense to it, but I think it's more than that.
So like when we have, I love how there's this paper that this kid wrote in China. It was called the kill line, China paper, and it basically China maxing. I love it. Describes the financial tipping point where an American family's savings and resources are so depleted that a single unexpected emergency like a
At
medical
Effa
bill or
Brennan
job loss.
super chatted $5. Can you tell this wannabe Nazi to go back to Germany?
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go back that
I mean,
far.
I'm a dual citizen, so
I wouldn't say that. But, listen, I think you're being respectful. And the thing is, I just don't think libertarian stuff works. Like, I think that no company, for instance, works better by being gutted of its investments to be more productive. Like, can you name a company that does that? Like Walmart, for instance, they have, or Amazon has these robots that move pallets, and they have a whole like multi-billion-dollar infrastructure. It would not operate at the same efficiency without that. I think that's what we need in America in regards to everything. I think we operate more efficiently when we take money and we invest.
I mean, and I think we disagree on that, because I think what we disagree on is not the fact that investment is good, which we agree on. The thing we disagree on, I believe, is that investment is best done when it is first redistributed and then invested, because investment is done already in the free market in many ways. Because if you have the stock market, that's investment at its core, first of all. So
I think
and
investing
I
is
think
that type of investment is a privilege. So nobody can make a meaningful investment without, and this ties perfectly into the kill line paper that some kid wrote in China. In China, they have so many things in social safety nets that keep you from like dipping into the poverty line to the point of no return, that it is less likely to commit a crime. It is less
I
likely.
mean, not if you're an Uyghur, then you're held in concentration camps. So
A Uyghur, yeah. We did the same thing like not that long ago to Japanese people. We did the same thing to Native people. We did the same thing. We're doing it right now to non-citizens. We are doing that to the tunes of millions of people. And people are out there placing bets on who's going to like kill themselves first. We're sending them to labor camps in El Salvador the same exact way.
I don't think you can compare that, because again, it's two very different things. It's not the government basically completely locking up and controlling the entire region, entire state of the country, which is again. I mean, again, if you look at Xinjiang, if you look at what's happening in Xinjiang, if you looked at what happened in Hong Kong in 2019, if you look at what happened even in Tibet in many ways, that's a authoritarian government, that's a government that does not respect civil rights or human rights. That's a government which should be much stricter opposed by Western civilization. Again, also they have no. I don't understand why you would live in a more Chinese country. I don't think that would be the best way to live, personally. So
I would probably immediately have a higher standard of living. I would have a longer lifespan. I'd have probably better food. I would have all of the medical care in the world. I would have better technology. I'd have a better car. I would have free transport. I don't know. It sounds horrible.
I'm sorry, I'm just a little. So Jenny would want to live in China rather than the US.
Yeah.
Okay, that's.
Have you seen China?
I have seen China. It's not that great. I've seen. If you look at the actual situation in China, it's not that great for the majority of people.
We are far more likely to fall into crippling debt here. And social mobility, all these things are far below China.
So social mobility, how is social mobility below China? America's basically the only country in the world where you can start out living in a small house in Mississippi and end up as a billionaire.
That's like winning the
how did
lottery.
Oprah win? I mean, there's a bunch of cases where people, for example, my dad was a first generation college graduate, and he's now worth he now is making quite good money. There's a lot of people like that who came up from little and at the end ended up being successful, being
That's the
very
lie
successful.
that you've been sold. Like, how many of us, right? Like, you might know one person, but out of a country
I know a lot
350
of
million
people.
people, there's like 2,000 billionaires. So 350 million people, and that includes hundreds of millions of more people that have died. Out of all of those people, only 2,000 made it.
Making it is not just being a billionaire. I mean, how many millionaires in America? It's gonna be over 2 million. I don't know the exact number. I would Google. It's gonna be.
Yeah, I don't know. I think also being a millionaire is less meaningful than it used to be. Like maybe 20 years ago, millionaire used to be something like huge and egregious. Being a millionaire is basically just 10 years in a row of making slightly above average pay.
24,000. 24 million. So 24 million millionaires in the US. That's quite a lot. Many of them probably come from not that well off families. Again, I think in America you can. I mean,
I think
you
you're
can
much
go.
much more likely to be a millionaire if your families are millionaires.
No, that's fair. I'm not going to disagree with that. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, also Pickles, maybe you could look up how often someone like comes out of where they are in like poverty, like how often someone is able to rise out of poverty. It's very little. If you're born into
I was just
poverty,
curious,
very
Hayek,
rarely
can you-
will you move. Sorry, go ahead, Infectious.
Oh, no problem. Hyatt, can you name me a single United States billionaire that did not get there via federal funding? Just one.
What about Taylor Swift? Or is she a billionaire? Or like one of the
Swift is not a
singers?
billionaire.
Her dad
What are singers?
Her dad is very rich. He invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into her.
Like Oprah Winfrey. Is she?
Oprah
That's
Winfrey is a millionaire, but I don't believe she's a billionaire.
She is. I mean, if I'm wrong, I think she's.
And even then, she did get federal funding for her broadcasting.
I'm not okay.
her
No,
show.
okay. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Taylor Swift is something as well.
You stated the point. You stated the point that the United States is the only country in the world where a person can start out with nothing and become a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
And I dare you to show me an example of that, because I guarantee you can't show me one.
I mean,
Not one.
did Apple get government investment for he was
Massive federal funding? Yes, massive federal funding, just like
question.
SpaceX did, just like Tesla did before they
Before.
became billionaires,
Before is the
just like
question,
Jeff
not after.
Bezos does. Yes, they did. Who do you think bought most of the original Apple IIe computer systems?
And probably
They
military
were on
contracts,
federal
but I think-
contract. They were on federal contract. Without federal contracts, Apple would not be the company it is today.
Yeah, and if we take that knowledge and we say, hey, why don't we have more like socialized contracts, like all of these things where like you see these companies getting rich off of the endless teat of the government. What if everybody in medicine was able to suck on the endless teat of the government? There'd be a lot of successful people.
I'm actually looking up that real quick if there's any of them because I'm interested in that. That's actually a good question.
I mean, even Donald Trump himself made millions of dollars in his early career on state and local funding for his projects. And then he turned around and he ripped off all the people that built it for him. So it didn't cost him millions of dollars.
Yeah, and he went in and tried to convince a bunch of politicians in New York to give him special permits and special tax breaks to do so. Like, a lot of these people didn't really do this with nothing.
Right. It's you just cannot find a single example of somebody who built themselves up from nothing that is a billionaire. It just doesn't happen.
J.K. Rowling, yeah. That's not the UK, fair enough, but that's not US, sorry, but
Yeah, that just kind of shoots down your statement about it being the only country that people can do that.
I mean, again, I think America still, in many ways, is one of the best countries if you have an idea to actually build that idea into a company. I think that's still the case. America is one of the best countries for entrepreneurs.
Here's the actual truth. So social mobility, Denmark #1, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Iceland, Netherlands, Switzerland. But America's not anywhere near #1. I think that's just a American exceptionalism lie, propaganda that you've been kind of sold. It's not true.
Yeah, the whole idea of this free market libertarianism, I'm going to tell you straight up what that turns into. Because so many people sit there and say, oh, well, they'll compete against each other and we'll get the best prices and the best service. That's not what happens. Because I've seen this in my own hometown, just as a little microcosm of watching this. We have a ton of gas stations where I come from. We have a lot of farming communities. People buy a lot of gas here, so gas stations do well. The gas stations don't compete against each other. The gas stations communicate their prices week by week so that they can price match each other. How do two companies make the best amount of money? Do they drive each other down? Do they race to the bottom so that they can give the customer the best price? Or do they communicate with each other and say, listen, if we just share the market evenly and we charge the same, it's a captive market. They can't go anywhere else. So we're going to captivate this market in our own way. We don't get free market competition when you don't regulate capitalism. That's the problem, is that the companies will figure out a way to maximize their profit regardless. They're not going to race each other to the bottom on pricing. They're not going to do any of these things that libertarians believe that the free market's going to do. That's just not how it works.
And
that's obviously, I mean, oh, sorry, continue, sorry.
The #1 thing that shows US ranked 27, by the way. It shows the biggest thing that makes us lag behind is the geographic disparities, healthcare costs, and unequal educational quality. The things that libertarians and conservatives just fuck up really bad every time they touch it.
I mean, again, again to answer the question. That's obviously game theory, and you obviously have a point. The question is, in game theory, if two players collude and a third player enters the scene without the information of colluding, then that will destroy the game at the end. So what
Actually,
you have obviously in an economy is an information market. Sorry, hello, sorry.
I was just going to say it doesn't, and I can give you an example of how it doesn't. At one point in time, we had a gas station that rose up solo enterprise, right? Just a singular individual got a loan from a bank and started their own gas station. And this was back when I was in high school. Gas was around $1.37 at the time. And they had advertised for their grand opening for the summer. They advertised 99-cent gas all summer long. Well, the next thing you know, they can't get fuel delivered to them because of the amount of gas stations we have. They contacted the fuel suppliers and said, listen, we're not going to buy from you if you supply gas to this local station. They had that 99-cent a gallon price for a week, and they were supposed to have it for 3.5 months because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to get fuel refills. That's how it works. Unless you regulate it, unless you pass laws that say you can't do that. That's regulation. That's consumer protection.
I mean, sure, and I don't think I'm against all regulation. I just think that if you regulate too strongly, that it affects the economy negatively. I think like a basic monopoly protection is fine. I'm not going to argue against that. That if you have one company in it which runs an entire country or an entire sector, you should be able to prevent it from merging with its competitor, for example. That is still
Welcome to the Democrat Party.
no. But how does that make
That's
me
what the
Democrat?
Democrats keep saying. That's what the Democrats keep saying.
That's also what Josh
What
Hawley
you just
says, for
said is
example,
exactly what the Democrats keep saying.
That's also
The
what Josh
Democrats
Hawley
keep
says, for
saying we
example,
need
not
to
just Democratic.
regulate. But that's what I'm saying is they're talking about regulations. That's not the libertarian viewpoint in any way, shape, or form. That is
I'm sorry,
counter
but
to the libertarian viewpoint.
just because you have a minimum system of regulation doesn't mean you're directly against everything free market and for everything regulation. I'm confused because if you have one small set of regulations, that's not
I think the
you
first priority of libertarians is to reduce like taxes and
reduce taxes, reduce regulations, yeah, and reduce spending.
yeah, and I think that that is the worst thing, like putting the cart before the horse. I think we see efficiency through investment. We see efficiency through balancing the budget, and these people are more often than not bought and paid for to just reduce taxes and espouse this anti or deregulation like BS propaganda. Um, there's no world where I can think of like all of these regulations that I could do without. Like you might be able to like really like surgically find a few, but uh libertarians are mostly for things like what Trump did, like for every one regulation he had, remove 10. I think that
That's
is
good, yeah.
just the dumbest thing. No, that is horrible.
How?
Because, because those are also known as consumer protections. Like those things are written in blood. People, we just saw Trump allow things like Roundup to be sprayed on all of our crops, and then made it illegal for local governments to go around and inform people about how dangerous it is.
I mean, I'm sorry, but for example, there's a very quite old actually Supreme Court regulation that, for example, allows you to classify a local sale of corn of wheat, I think it was, to your neighbor as interstate sale. That allows it to I think it's called kilo, yes, and that is things that are the issue. If you have overregulation, if you have the government being able to determine individual person-to-person sales. So, for example, if you have, for example, a guy, if I go to a local farmer and want to get milk, for example, in many states he can't actually sell me that milk if it hasn't been directly approved by the FDA, even if he knows the cows, even if I can see the cows. So that's kind of an issue, for example, for me, if I have to go through 5 different steps of regulations to get milk from a local farmer. So
I think it's to save lives. I think you're just twice as likely to get sick and die from unpasteurized milk.
I mean, again, I wouldn't, of course, give it to like kids, but I think for adults, there's a lot of benefits, for example, to it. So it has more nutrients in it if you don't cook it. If you don't cook some of the nutrients out, so.
But that also makes you
One
twice as
example.
likely. And who's going to stop you from giving it to your kid? That's why those laws are in place.
And it's not just kids. The bacteria in unpasteurized milk can unalive just about anybody, regardless of age.
I'm sorry, can what? Sorry?
Kill you.
I said the bacteria found in unpasteurized milk can unalive just about anybody. It doesn't matter what age.
Okay, I didn't understand the word. Sorry, I didn't understand the word. What
And
unalive?
it's
Sorry.
actually not twice. I think it's actually 10 times more likely. You're 10 times more likely to get sick from unpasteurized milk. I think that's the number.
It's a pretty high amount. It's like
Yeah.
8 to 10 times higher. Yeah.
Fair. Look, okay, we've been going for I think what, an hour now. I'm gonna have to. So thank you for the debate. It was actually really interesting. I'm gonna have to read one or two studies you cited. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, man. Take it easy.
Cool.
Chat, don't forget to follow the stream. We do these debates all the time. Guys, don't drink unpasteurized milk. Stop taking what's it called, out of water? What was the big kick recently? I think it's just negative IQ stuff that these people perpetuate. Fluoride, thank you. Taking fluoride out of water. I think libertarians really do get caught up in like being angry at the government for taxing you. There are zero health benefits to unpasteurized milk. Yeah. As a former dairy farmer, please don't drink unpasteurized milk. Yeah. Chat, I do have pay apps right here, and if you're trying to kick somebody, it's $40 for kick, or if you guys just want to donate to the stream, this is the best way to do it. Otherwise, we also have stickers. If you guys want to become a super fan, it's like $10 a month, and you guys get cool stickers to use in chat. It's actually more or less on my other account where that would be more effective, though. I really like people taking a small step away from the Republican Party and claiming to be libertarian just really drives me nuts, because it's just diet republicanism. It's like the same pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality that's like very tribal, very hateful towards the poor community or towards the like or at least less productive people in society. And it's more of like an ideological block that's getting in the way of you doing things that are objectively better. It's like, how do we address this with already not having the means to fund a new idea? How do we stop homelessness? Well, go around and tell them all to work. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. $840 times more likely to get sick from unpasteurized milk, 4 times more likely to unalive. Whoa.
Wow, I didn't even realize it was that high. That's crazy. Yeah, so don't drink raw milk there, kids.
I bet it tastes good, maybe. I doubt it, actually.
Oh, it does.
I don't know.
It does. It does. It tastes richer. It's creamier, but
Guys, make America healthy again. How are we doing on that front? I still can't get over the recent FDA commissioner stepping down because he was forced to approve flavored vapes. These people lie and tell you that they're libertarian, these politicians, and the first chance they get. Oh, man.
you know, I use vapes myself, and I will say this: I agreed with that platform. I agreed with the idea of not making them fruity flavored. Yeah, I think they should taste just as shitty as cigarettes do.
No, kiss my ass.
Hear my wife in the background.
Yeah. Libertarianism is just more creative and racist way to be selfish. Agreed. I think there is like some soft bigotry there, maybe even hard. No offense. Actually, all the offense. I can't stand it. All right, I need to set a new gift goal, by the way. Wait, I think we did do it. We have a 20 beach maracas gift goal. Is somebody setting my gift goals? Is that you, D? Appreciate you. Oh, god dang, dude. Not you? Chat, don't forget to like the stream and hit the repost or the share button. That helps me out a lot too. We do need like an extra like oomph from the algorithm. We need like some extra love and interaction and engagement to get this sent out.
By the way, if anybody, I don't know if anybody's realized this or not, I've noticed that ever since the ownership of the Tiki-Taki switched, the little auto clicker apps are no longer restricted. I can run my clicker for as long as I want, and the likes all register. They used to limit them, after so many, it's so fast, it wouldn't count the rest of them. It would count like 2,000 or 3,000. But I've put like 30K in on yours before.
Oh, dang.
Just let it run for minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, just FYI, I know tapping hurts the fingers after a while.
Auto clicker apps might be exclusive to Android devices.
Oh, that's true. I got mine out the Play Store.
That's too high. Okay. We will change the maracas to. Let's change it to. What are maracas?
Maracas are those little rattly, shaky things they use in like Hispanic culture.
Let's do the cello, guys. Let's do the cello. Actually, we'll do hand hearts. We'll do hand hearts. We'll start with hand hearts. We'll go from there.
So what's the current fund? I know you got the scooter fund whacked out. What's the next one?
I don't have anything in mind. I mean, just rent, I guess. Because I want to help pay my rent. Yeah, you're welcome to it. This month has actually been very good. You guys have been very generous, but I'm still like sometimes when I go, like, it's been 2 days and it's kind of slowed down. I get really worried. So
right.
I get worried that like we're also going to run out of MAGAs to interview. Hopefully we'll just get more libertarians, more conservatives with silly ideas that are just...
But no communists. The communists can stay home. That rush yesterday was a pain in the ass.
I'm not trying to teach like farm animals how to do magic tricks. That's how outrageous of a jump that would be. I don't think I'm going to convert any conservatives to being communists anytime soon. So Ohio's trying to pass what legislation?
Oh, I gotta look this up. Come on, Ohio, don't turn me into a lawbreaker.
Conception begins at Erection Act. It's designed to highlight the hypocrisy of the government overreach regarding women's reproductive rights by attempting to apply the exact same regulations to men. I'm so proud of y'all. I'm so proud of the Democrats in Ohio.
That is fantastic.
It would legally define a man discharging semen without the intent of impregnating a woman as a felony. Lock me up, chat. Lock me up. Guilty as charged.
But I mean, I understand the viewpoint, though. I mean, it's fair. It's to try to even out the playing field, and it's to make people realize how absurd the anti-abortion laws are.
Not the kind of religiousness, but yeah. Yeah. I think it's great. $5,000. So $1,000 for the first offense, $5,000 for a second offense. I wonder what kind of evidence you would need. And if
Right.
you froze all of your semen, would that make it okay?
Yeah, has it been medically extracted or self-extracted?
I think as long as you froze it and that semen is saved for later use, it might be a good loophole.
So are you still going to do the music stream tonight?
Yes, in about an hour and a half, we're gonna do a music stream. And if you
About
guys
an hour
want
and a
to
half now. Is that on this account or is that on the other one?
this one,
That's on this one. Okay.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like going to the strippers, guys. Make sure you have your dollar bills ready, so you can make some song requests. I believe you're doing $4 song requests, right?
yes,
Yeah,
What
see, so
music?
cheaper than a stripper.
any music. Just don't have bad music taste. I don't know. I think my first song is gonna be TLC No Scrubs though. For obvious reasons.
I like that you recognized hummus when I asked for it last time.
Yeah, Hummus Vacuum?
Yeah, hummus vacuum's badass. I love that dude.
Yeah, that guy's awesome. Love him.
You ever see he's got that video where he stitches another guy's TikTok where he says, yes, I fake my political views just to max. Am I a bad person? And then it switches to the lead singer and he goes, yes. And then it goes straight into the song. I love that video. It's a great one.
What if I request Quat Night Joe 20 times? Vetoed. No refund. Vetoed for that refund. I once played like a 10-minute long Between the Buried and Me song at a bar, and it was like 6 minutes in when they're like, sorry, bro. They handed me $1, like, dude, we're sorry. Can't do it.
I think I might request Raw tonight.
W.
Raw is an Egyptian rock band.
Ooh.
Sound really cool. Yeah.
Got your Montels mixed up down there. Do y'all remember Keith Sweat, dude? President Trump he got rose seeds.
Yeah, for destroying the rose garden. It's all the petty. It was so great. And now I'm wondering if Trump's gonna be a true blue coward and walk away from Taiwan after that threat. I want to see what's gonna happen with it. I want to see how MAGA is gonna defend him then.
America first. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
No, I'm just on the edge right now.
You're just calling to what?
I said I'm on the edge right now. I just wanted to have a quick questions of a debate.
Sure, what's up?
I was just calling to see, do you think all Trump supporters are racist?
Yeah.
Okay, so why is it in their DNA? Or like, why do you think it's like, why is it?
I think everybody in the United States or Honestly, I don't even think it's like constrained to the United States. But if you're in the United States, it is an absolute fact that, for instance, your ancestors or even your grandparents were very racist, raised in a racist society, um, and like I don't think it's just MAGA, right? I think everybody's racist. I think I'm racist, even if it's like implicit bias, like subconscious. If you were to test me, given like a multitude of like blind tests, I would, for instance, administer pain medicine at a different rate to a certain type of people versus white people. Um, and they have like a multitude of tests you can see where they do to young school children, um, asking them to point to the more smart person and the least smart individual, and they would always point to white people as the smarter person. I think that this is like built in, but I think that Trump and the Republican Party plays into these biases, and at the very least, it's not a deal breaker for him to say very uh, like xenophobic or racial things. So I think that permissing it at the very least is very racist and is a way of partaking in it.
Okay, I have another question. So, do you know about the Chud the Builder guy?
No,
So you haven't heard of Chud the Builder? He walks around and calls people the N words and all of that.
I don't think so.
Okay, so my question on that is, if one side hates another so bad, why don't we just, like, I don't know how I should put it. Why don't one side, or if one side does not like the other for some obvious reason, just because of their color, why don't we just get a big field, and the people who hate one side versus the other, why won't they just shoot it out? Whoever dies, dies.
We did that, and we never punished the loser, and now they're back, removing people's voting rights.
So it just, cause I'm just confused. So you being a white person, just give me the mind, like the thought of what makes somebody would just hate somebody because they exist. Like, I don't understand it.
So, I would even say to go as far as they hate somebody, but they're absolutely told and naturally react to people who look different from themselves. So if you come up to like a 4-year-old and you don't look like that 4-year-old, whether you're gay or black or a person of color, that 4-year-old is going to react differently. It's going to have kind of maybe even like a fight or flight in
Okay,
response. I think that
okay.
some
So you,
people are constantly uh, like tricked into thinking in those
so
terms.
so you don't think that we should just have? I feel personally, we just need a war. Like, why not just let's just have a war? Like, let's just, if it's so much hate and no, and one side doesn't like the other, why not just let's just have a war. Let's just go at it.
Well, we already did that. Remember the Civil War?
Yeah, but you don't think we need that again right now? Because racism is at an all-time high right now.
I still don't think that would be sufficient. I feel like in another 40 years or 100 years, it'll crop back up and people will want revenge. People who, I mean, neo Nazis are a thing, right?
Yep.
Like they were pretty much done away with and punished on the world stage, but they're still around.
So I got a question. What would happen if all Black Americans just left? Would that make it better for them? Would they feel happy?
No, because I think that xenophobia is relative. So, like in a few hundred years, or a few thousand years, through us kind of like having offspring with each other, there will be far less divide in terms of, I don't know, skin tone. People are still going to be like, oh, this motherfucker with bushy eyebrows, he ain't like us, you know?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's true. Well, yeah, that's what I was calling about. Just trying to get a little insight.
All right,
Appreciate it.
take it easy. And I love the fact that like it like the fact that it's based off of skin tone right now is so silly to me because genetically we could be more the same, like between me and somebody who has more melanin content. Like I could have more genetically in common with someone like that than some toothless fucking idiot with a 70 IQ that lives in rural Texas.
Yeah, personally, I think it just comes from self-hate and insecurity.
Yeah.
You tend to think you're lesser than, and so you tend to try to push others down so that you feel better. That's all it is.
Yeah. Don't talk about your dad like that. Thank you guys. By the way, we're 10 out of 20 with the hand heart gift goal. Right there, you guys help me hit that. Should we go back to playing Operation Epic Furious? I think it's hilarious. I told Melania, she goes, "Hello, did you finish burning the Epstein files, Donald?" And if you click no, it's game over. Yo.
Yeah, I got one more. I got one more question I have to ask you.
Okay.
So, all right, since majority of white people are racist, this is a fact, and they so-called claim that they're Christian, and they're real evil, and they'll do anything evil. It's almost it's just in them. So how can they claim to be Christian? Like, I don't want to be a Christian no more. If a white person is evil like this and claims that he's a Christian, there's no way I want to be anything a part of that.
Based.
Like, at all.
Based.
Like, how?
Based, yeah. Atheism is the one true way. I mean, I don't know if you knew this, but the KKK was started by Christians. Slavery was justified and brought here by Christians using the Bible. They gave slaves this thing called the slave Bible. All religions, to me, are just a means of control. Get out of there.
But how can they be so evil and claim they love God? It don't make. It just doesn't. I don't know. It's so confusing. It don't make sense. That's what basically what I'm saying is. There's no way they believe in God. Like, they have to believe in something else. Like, it's impossible. Like, it doesn't make sense.
I don't think being Christian makes you a good person. Like, I think good people who are also Christian just so happen to be good people. But I think horrible people that are Christian just turn into horrible, shitty people that also happen to be Christian.
Yep. Because it's like nowadays when I walk around and if I see a white person, it's almost like I just think they're evil. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't get it. I don't know. I know it's not supposed to be like that. We all are human, but it's just like if I see a white person, it's automatic, like just evil. Like it's like they just it's like they just like not going to skin color, but you got to think the skin is dark red. It just give all like evil vibes. Like it just like
Bro,
it's just
I don't blame you, dude. I don't blame you for saying it. My feelings aren't hurt.
I don't. But like I said earlier, to solve this, we need to get a big field of land, and we need to get one side over here and one side over there, and we just need to go to war. I don't care about who dies. Like if you die, so be it. At this point, we need we got you. It needs to
Which
all
side
this
am I allowed
talking.
on your side?
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck yeah.
But
All right.
what I'm saying is all of this talking that we have been doing have got either side nowhere. Nothing has happened. So the only way to solve stuff like this is violent. Like that's just what it has to be. Like the racist people who does not like minorities, we need to get a big field. You can get how many guns you want, and we're gonna get how many guns we can get, and let's just go to war. Like let's just shoot it out. Whoever dies dies. It's that simple. It's
I think that what you're doing though is like martyring people. So like if you look at all the people running to the rescue of like the Confederate leaders and their statues, like when we're trying to rip down a statue of Robert E. Lee, the leader of the Confederate Army, there's still motherfuckers that will come to rescue that statue. And their ancestors died for that. That's why. So I just don't think that the violence is going to solve anything. It's probably just make it worse. Just probably like
so. Why do
seal
you
it.
think? But what I'm saying is, us talking does nothing. Talking is cheap. Like it's not no action. It needs to be a war. Like no, like we just need to fight. Like just go to war. Like what's no more talking. Like that's over.
Chill,
That
dude.
needs.
No, dude. No.
You don't think so?
Nah, dude. Like, because like I said, we're martyring people. Like, people will be like, "Oh, my grandpa died for this," you know. Like, I don't want that. I think that we should stomp it out. Like if you know somebody contributes to the Republican Party, don't buy from their store. Don't buy don't buy a haircut from them. Fuck them.
Yeah, it's just America is just crazy, right? I just don't get it. Like if one group of people hate these people just because they exist, and we was first of all, white people wasn't even here first, and that's a fact. So it's just like let's just go to war. Like that's how I think. That's just how I think. It may sound foolishness or ignorant, but
It won't solve
at this
anything.
point,
Come on, dude. It doesn't solve anything. It doesn't do anything. It just more hate and extremism is gonna come out of that. They just have another reason to hate you, right?
to a certain extent, but it's like we're not getting anywhere though.
I think we can. I think that like we're gonna see the pendulum swing left and right, and I think the further right it swings, the further left it's gonna swing. And I think that I don't know. Maybe we just have to do a better job of teaching history. I think that like education solves a lot of
Okay,
this.
so I got a question for you. You're a white man, so you seem pretty up forward and like you got knowledge. So what color was Jesus? I just want to ask this simple question.
I don't believe Jesus was real, but if he was real, he definitely wasn't the only white guy in the middle of the fucking desert and Middle East. He was definitely
Okay.
brown.
Okay, so with that being said, growing up over here in America, going to a white church, I grew up in the country. All you see is a white pastor. That just goes to show you that white people, they know the truth. They don't. It's almost like they hate us because they know the truth. Like they know what reality is, and they don't want to admit it.
They
So
had
it's
to do
almost
that
like,
for racists, right? Like, no fucking redneck ass old man is going to go to a church where there's a picture of a brown dude hanging on the wall. But if it's white, he's going to be like, oh, yeah, I worship that.
this is just crazy. Oh my God, this is crazy. This is crazy. It doesn't make any sense. Like this is crazy. Well, that's all I had to say.
All right, bro. Take it easy.
Just FYI, it kind of fits in. I was trying to say something about it while he was up. I know he can't hear me, though. Jesus was a bigot. He absolutely was, according to the book and the story. He called the Canaanite people dogs, which at the time was an ethnic slur. So it kind of fits in with racists and bigots. It's built upon it.
And I didn't think
The
about
foreign
this until
people from the
today.
foreign countries are the only ones you can enslave.
But Jesus also liked to party. If he was real, dude, and he turned all that water into wine just to get everybody fucking turned, he was just a lush.
I've been in way too many atheist lives lately. You learn a lot real quick.
Yeah. That's what people that Jesus. Yeah. Uh. Yeah, why couldn't he turn it into
Jules, I think
shrooms,
I'm
dude?
gonna let you have at it. I'm gonna hop down. My wife's getting supper ready, and I know I'm gonna be eating soon. So,
All right, dude. Take it easy. Thanks for hopping out.
thanks for having me up, brother.
Anytime.
Looking forward to the music.
All right. Oh, man. I feel like I've really thinned the herd over the last few months where I've just been so outspoken about Christianity. And you know what? I think it's all right. Oh my god. Operation Epic Furious. All right. All right. I'm recutting through the red tape. I cut off record. What? For my collection. Does he kiss American flags when you touch it? No? Who's this? Theo Vaughn, what are you doing in here? Let's roll, bro. I'm depressed now. All of it. My son says you're very good, very insightful. Cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie. Oh. What is that little guy? Is that Secret Service? Oh no. Look at the statue. Let's call it something else. How about lube? Genius, sir. People love stealing lube from Diddy. Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that the heart goes on. Oh, is there any Easter eggs? What the hell? Alright, we broke it. Let's go over here. Oh. Oh, we're on the roof! We're on the roof? Guys, this is canon. We're on the White House roof. I can't get off. Here's the Epstein files. We can burn some Epstein files real quick. Failed to load audio. Uh-oh. There's so many more Epstein files remaining. Would you like to burn more? Not right now. We've got better things to do. Look at the statue. How do I get back off of the grass? We gotta reset it. All right, we'll speed through this. All right. Uh-oh, another one of your executive orders was halted by the courts. What do? Order a Diet Coke. There we go. Invade Iran? A whole civilization would die tonight, never to be brought back again. All right, let's roll. Wait, before you go, stealing oil may be a war crime. Let's call it something else then. How about lube? Genius. Let's go. Ready to rock Iran? Hell yes. Order 5 for an achievement? No way. Watch your ass, Iran. President Trump is coming. I'll fight this war and win it by hamburger o'clock. The fake news Atlantic. He sleeps. Your masculinity is overwhelming. Capture all of the lube in the Iran and ship it home. Through the always open Strait of Hormuz. Thanks, Shady. I filled out more of those cognitive tests for you. Mr. President, I fired all the Iranian intelligence officials, like you said, and replaced them with Grok. Turns out this facility is a secretive criminal headquarters of operational losers. That's right, it's a school. No way. A school? My son Eric was defeated by one of those. Who is that? Matt Gates? Oh no. Iranian schoolgirl emerged. Fight or taco? Magic? Heel bone spur? No way. His phone. Iranian schoolgirl A. I have a counterattack? No way. It's my special. Jesus powered Tama. No. 8 gold found. Jump is level 6 now. Mara laser added to abilities. The dead skull on the ground. No. Oh no, dude. Iranian schoolgirl emerged. Myra laser. Oh, I don't have enough power. We gotta do Jesus power tomahawk. Guys, this is called Operation Epic Furious. The straight to hell. Straight like Strait of Hormuz. Alternative facts added to abilities. The lube! Got a hamburger? Political magic power restored. Let's go get this. The Taco Bell ceasefire award. Amazing. What's that? No. Calling a drone strike. Oh, they made the statues in DC? I didn't know that. Amazing. I have a bad case of ED, Epic Destruction. Also the other one. Now get back up there and continue to crush those gains. We have breaking news from Texas Supreme Court. Hold on. DEFCON 2, sir. The keg is super foaming. We lost both of the beer pong balls. Uh-oh. Is this cash? Wait, who's this? Are there any Iran podcasts I should guest on before we blow all this up? Oh my god. I'm sorry, Theo Vaughn. But you earned it. Oh no. Oh no. Terrorist emerged. Civilian terrorist. Why is my special power still low? Alternative facts. He sucks himself up. Oh, we regained our special power. Oh shit. Level 8 trap. Power grab added to abilities. Pete. Oh! Just watching over the bones of my sworn enemies, international aid workers. Mara Laser is the new meta. Jesus Power Tomahawk. Let's get the Angry Tariff first. Don't want to lose all my magic power. Let's get our special power back. If you taco, you just run, I think. Level 9, read it and wheat chat. Anything up here? A little puddle of water. Where's the exit? Drone strike! Careful, the old dude is pissed. Because someone drank all of his Sacramento wine or whatever. I turned water into wine. I've done it many times. People are amazed. Sir, what does that make you? A doctor. What's this? The Week on Crime Pope. Oh, boss fight. Week on Crime Pope emerged. Here we go, y'all. Full pardon. No damage? He's immune to Jesus Tomahawk missiles. What? Catholic guilt? What the hell? A victorious escape. We have to run. I can't get to the oil. Alternative facts. We did taco. It gave us a victorious escape. What is he weak to? The power grab. We're running. Having trouble with the Pope? Let's say a prayer. He's gonna Dear Lord, say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what again? One goddamn time. Amen. New magic spell 2 Corinthians. Very normal hands. Maybe better than normal. Bigger, less bruised, doctors have said. Wow. Two Corinthians. Easy. Manosphere added to the special abilities. We got the lube. Can we hop over here? Some idiot blew up the bridge. You got the lube. Great work. Another consequence-free political masterstroke. What's in here, though? Not here. We can't defeat these guys in battle. There's only one way to defeat these soul barbarians. Take off your shirt and let's do some push-ups. Hell yes, my testosterone is peaking. Oh shit. Looks Maxer terrorist. Let's try 2 Corinthians. Oh shit. Oh shit. 4 out of 3 lubes, dude. Drone strike. No, get out of here. Oh shit. Where can I land? On the left. Oh shit. What is, this is the straight. What is this? Ouch, hot. Oops. Let's get back in the ship. Closed. Straight's closed, probably from the radical left trying to turn it by. Oh no. We need a new operation, something that gets right into the tight little passageway. About total annihilation and indiscriminate neutralizing tactics. Dang it. Oh no. Prepare an all caps assault. You're out of truth post. Jim and Shaq and Captain Morgan. My greatest nemesis, stairs. Oh shit. Low flow shower head emerge. I gotta heal my burn spurs. Oh yeah. No. Let's get the Jesus Power Tomahawk. Oh yeah. Easy. Toilet paper? Oh, yeah. Political and magic power restored from a Big Mac. That guy looks scary. Hold on. Barrage of pronouns you'll never understand. Initiate Z-Zim. The DEI Ayatollah? No, dude. Fragile ego boost. Let's go. Trupslunk went up. Trains their bias. Take a Jesus-powered tomahawk. Mar laser. Ooh. Let's just do a regular attack. Guys, I've had like 13 Jinjins. Jesus powered tomahawk. New move, Manosphere. $572 damage from the Manosphere. More TP. I came here to redistribute your wealth and chew bubblegum. Oh no! Handsome Mom Donnie emerges. I can't do it, Mom Donnie. You're fired, launcher. No. Call in the drone strike. Can I go over here? I'll never be able to get to the capital. Can I go over here? No. I think the fact is, this game, you can't win. I think literally, is there no way to win this game? You're just perpetually stuck in this zone? Oh my god, what is this? Dear Donald, you have so much to learn. I started a war of attrition, but you let Jimmy Kimmel survive. In Russia, we would have banished to Siberia or even worse. What is this? Couch Depot? Oh no. Oh, sir, what are you doing here? Just dominating the expansion of the American Empire. Wait, what is this place? It's not what you think, but unrelated. I seem to have lost my couch stain remover. Can you help me find it? I'll just continue dominating the Ottoman Empire. Come to me when you found my chair. When you found my cleaner. It's gotta be somewhere over here. Oh my god. What is this? You found Elon's missing child? What? The IHOP Peace Prize. Wow. Have we run into Elon yet? I think literally you're just stuck here fucking around now. Unironically, there's no way out. He's in a quagmire. There's no winning. There's no winning. This is amazing. Yeah, there's no winning. Glorious. That's glorious. All right, chat. I am going to go ahead and take a little break. I'm going to be back on in about 30 minutes, and we will do a non-stop music stream. So I will see y'all there, chat. I love you. Adios, chat.